is it like to be the child of a notorious villain? How does it feel to be 6 years old and on the run in Mexico? What happens when the father you look up to is finally caught and jailed for 25 years?
And I remember sitting on this balcony posing while the old bill had basically taken my dad away in the other room.
My Dad's a Villain. It can only be real life. Every week a new film from Britain's best documentary makers. Monday at 10, ITV.
At 12:45, you can see Michael Flatley's final performance as the Lord of the Dance in Feet of Flames.
The South Bank Show, in association with Anderson Consulting.
Hello, in the world of opera, tenors are the strikers. The great ones are rare and very highly valued, as we know from Pavarotti, Domingo and Carreras. Now a new signing has come onto the field, 36-year-old Jose Cura. With a big voice and romantic looks, his first record went to the top of the classical charts, and his live performances in Europe and America have been major sellouts. When we learned that he was to return to his native Argentina, which he'd left as a failure, to sing a major role for the first time in the National Opera House, we decided to follow him. The role was Otello in Verdi's opera of the same name. It gave us the opportunity to see how a young singer would approach such a major part, the province of operatic greats like Delmonico and Domingo. But Nigel Wattis's film begins in Cura's hometown of Rosario, at the Monumento de la Bandera, which was to be the location for one of a series of homecoming concerts.
I'm a tourist in my own city, and that is the famous flame that every country has to the unknown soldier, you know, of wars and all that. So it makes a good amphitheater. Those are the balconies, and then it works like the balconies of a theater. I think that the people that have balconies there invite all the families and everybody. I mean, they will be fine. It will be warm. The problem is the people in here. Let's hope on it. I don't know. Forecast for tomorrow is pretty bad. Argentina, this is not normal. Creo que hay que hacer mañana. ¿Qué dicen los muchachos del aeropuerto?
Mira, mañana, hoy a las 20 tengo una precisión respecto de que pase entre 6 de la tarde y 12 de la noche. Frío.
Nosotros estamos bien,
no, y usted también. No, la expectativa que hay es terrible. La fecha que sacamos es bien para una gripe para escuchar locura.
no.
He's called the public's imagination because he can sing, because he's very good on stage. He's a handsome man and knows it. Has enormous appeal to audiences.
I don't think that I'm a singer. I think just I am a musician who happen to sing, happen to conduct, and to compose. When I came here last week and I stood in front of the orchestra for the first time, I must say that I was ready for a major disaster, honestly. Because being out of the country for so many years and knowing that our musicians, unfortunately, are very often unconsidered, I thought, what the hell is going to happen here? I mean, I'm going to start the rehearsal and I don't know what is going to come out from that. Cuidado todavía, Otra vez. Cuidado todavía con ese compás, And the orchestra really responded in a marvelous way. A tempo, chico. But I was really surprised. I was really surprised, and I was surprised also with the technique level of the orchestra.
Although the day of the free concert at the Monumento alla Bandera was cool and cloudy, the threat of rain didn't materialize. A large crowd started arriving early in the afternoon to watch Cura rehearse.
It was a re-encounter, a re-meeting with the whole city, and was, in terms of numbers, was more or less like that, because we were expecting 10,000, and we've been yesterday evening more than 40,000. So it was a really wonderful experience. It was really re-get in touch with the city.
Eppur et uopo sforzati, ma sai tu fare suonar. Tu sei pagliaccio.
One of the features of Cura's recent concerts has been to conduct the orchestra himself while he's singing.
Vesti la giubba e la faccia in farina, la gente paga e ridere vola qua. Se Arlecchino ti ne vola colombina, ridi pagliaccio e adiom applaudirà. Tramuta il Lazio spasso ed il pianto, in una smorfia il singhiozzo e le color. Arditi pagliaccio sul tuo amor infraneta. Ridi delle duole che t'avvelena il cor.
2 years ago, I was 97, and I was playing with an orchestra in a German tour. And at a certain point, the leader of the orchestra said to me, the orchestra got the feeling that we can do something new. We can play with you without a conductor. Why don't we try that? So we organized a tour without a conductor. And it was very nice. Some reviewers said, is this art? What is this? A sort of enormous bird conducting the audience and giving his back to the orchestra? A lot of nonsense. What you have to ask is if it works or not. It works differently. So what I think is that if I have fun doing it, and if the orchestra have fun doing it, why not do it?
L'arte nel suo mistero, le diverse bellezze insiem confonde, ma non ritrone costui il mio solo pensiero, il mio solo pensiero sei tu.
I came to start thinking what the opera was about when I was 19, 18, when I was in the conservatory. At that stage, I wanted to be a conductor and a composer. The director of the house said to me, "Why don't you sing a little bit?" I said, "I don't want to sing because singers are kind of crazy and neurotic and all the fantasies we have about singers and all the scarves and the hats and all that. I mean, everything that I am not, thanks God." But he said to me something very, very important. He said to me, "Knowing how to sing will make you a better conductor."
Bien, aquí, atención, toda la cuerda sul tasto. Sul tasto todo el mundo, chicos, aquí. 50. Lo más lejos del puente que puedan. Cambio de color enseguida. Re, do, si, fa, la. Re, do, si, fa. Todo es un pianísimo que juega, que va y que tira, la fuerza normal de la inercia de la melodía que va y que viene, no escrita. Luego, atención, 50.
But I feel that maybe one of the most important advice I ever had in my life. Because now when I sing like a composer. And when I conduct like a singer.
Cuidado con la afinación. ¿Y el piano súbito dónde está? Sorpresa. ¡Ah! Y ahora crezcan como tienen ganas de hacer desde hace un rato.
During the visit to Argentina, Cura gave another concert in the more intimate setting of Rosario's Teatro El Sicolo. It was an emotional event for him, in front of an audience packed with relatives and friends from his early years. Uncharacteristically, he arrived at the venue over an hour late and after the concert should have begun.
Can you just imagine, I've just arrived to the hotel and I found out that my kid was in the hospital. He has an accident and he cut his face. That was I'm late. I mean, it's 10 past 9. We should have been... It's ridiculous. Vine del hospital con mi hijo que se rompió la cara contra el piso, ahora, hace 15 minutos. Lo están cosiendo, está gordo, está reventado.
¿Qué fue que se cayó? ¿Tropezó?
Se tropezó y se cayó, así como en Inglaterra el concierto hasta que la reina no llega, no empieza. Acá está la reina. Mi reina. Señores, no empieza. Santa Silvia. Vamos chicos, cuando quieran.
Vamos a entrar, profesores.
Mierda a todos.
Igualmente.
Mierda, mierda, mucha mierda, juntando las cuerdas con caca. The last hour before the concert, instead of being concentrating and preparing, we were running from here to there with the kid. Thinking in my boy that was a bit difficult to start. I was not concentrating in the beginning.
When he was 3 years old, Jose Cura moved to a large house in Fishertown, a prosperous suburb of Rosario. His family, who owned a steel mill, recognized his gifts early on.
O sea que creo que es un don de Dios, en definitiva.
Porque Dios quiso que fuera así. Y encontraron en la familia un caldo de cultivo para que esa música se les metiera dentro del corazón y pensaran en ser músicos. No musiquistas de rock, los paranoicos, todas esas cosas, historias que no...
En que Dios, si Dios les ha dado un don de no ser mediocres, no tienen que serlo.
Hay una cosa que yo no puedo soportar, que alguien sea mediocre. No me gusta la mediocridad, para nada. Él lo dijo una vez en una carta que nos mandó de Europa. Ustedes saben bien cómo me hicieron. No los vamos a defraudar.
Close to the house, let's say 200 meters, there's the square. In that square, in 1978 exactly, I've done my debut as a chorus master. We create a big open-air show for the anniversary of our church. I was the chorus master then, I was 15 years old. And in one of the corners of the square, every day after the school, I kissed goodbye Silvia, which was at the time my fiancée. So we've been together for 20 years. The emotion and the whatever was so big that there was no way to do it different. So I did it almost without voice, and not because of the amount of force or energy I put in my strings, but because of the emotion. I'm how do you say, I'm dried. Vamos.
Un beso.
When you live so far away and when you come to your country, and the last time you've been here was 5 years ago, everybody wants to have you, to take you, to touch you. And of course there's no way to say no, so it's of course exhausting. Pero en esta iglesia, cuando éramos un grupo de 10 o 12, de 6 años, que era más o menos el líder de los que protestaban. ¿En qué? ¿En peso? Musicalmente, entramos en terreno espinoso. Digamos que vamos a dejar el comentario a los expertos de la prensa.
After school, Cura studied conducting and composition at the Music Conservatory in Rosario. In 1984, his teacher recommended that he should continue his studies in Buenos Aires and arranged a place for Jose at the school of Argentina's leading opera house, Teatro Colón. He was quickly rejected.
I've done my first singing there, and they said to me, listen, boy, this is not for you. You are not welcome here. It was 15 years ago. And at the time, that was really a machine of destroying talent and a machine of destroying voices. 6 months after that, I was out. I had had enough of being wrongly talked in whichever sense. So I gave up the school. And I kept on going privately.
Como buscando una última oportunidad, ¿no? Una última respuesta. Estas voces no son fáciles, no son comunes, no es fácil el destino de un tenor que va a ser dramático, ¿no?
So in '88 I finally started studying proper singing technique. And around 90, in 90 I started making a lot of auditions.
Le contestaron que no, que voces como la de él no necesitaban. Esa fue la contestación oficial. Aquí no hay muchas contestaciones oficiales, aquí nadie recibe razones.
So we went to Europe, and of course the first 3-4 years were hell. A lot of people said to me in my face, hey, you have no rights here? You don't belong to the community. I mean, it's the same story. One day somebody fired into my face an enormous phrase. It was a she, and I was in a train. And when she knew that I was Argentinian, she said to me, hey, all of you from South America, you come to Europe to steal work of us. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? I said, my grandfather was Spanish. My other grandfather was Lebanese. My grandmother was Lebanese, and my other grandmother was from Spain. And I have some Italian blood. All of them went to Argentina in the beginning of the century because they were dying of hunger in Europe. So how can you tell me that I'm now coming here to steal Europe? I said, I'm just coming to recover what you have stolen before.
Cura's big break came in 1994 when he won the prestigious Placido Domingo singing competition. Domingo himself conducted Cura's first record, a collection of Puccini arias.
To be able to pass emotions through a plastic thing is very difficult. How can you commit yourself in a record if you don't know the feeling of the character? So what I said to the company is, listen, according to my schedule, in the next 2 years, I will be singing a lot of Puccini. So I will be able to transmit more in Puccini for the moment than in another author. So why don't we do my first record, just a Puccini record?
Cura is now in demand by opera houses throughout the world, and he has 2 successful records to his credit. His career is based in Europe, where he lives, in Paris, with his wife and 3 children. The trip to Argentina provided the opportunity for a rare and important reunion with the rest of his family.
The fact of growing in reputation makes also, and is this very obvious, grows your cachet, your fee. So you can buy your time saying, okay, listen, this month I prefer to stay at home. I can afford to stay at home without working, and I can dedicate my life to my family, to write or to do other things. So slowly in my schedule I can afford myself to buy some time for me, which is not very easy all the time, because the marketing people is always pushing to keep on going. Hola. The match today is hell of a match, because it's News on Voice against Boca Juniors. And Boca Juniors was the team of Maradona. So it's a sort of national icon or something like that team, Boca Juniors. So it's going to be a very dangerous match.
You guys kill me. You take a delicious Oriental infusion and dump cow juice into it. You invent a sport that no one understands, and the whole world still whips you at it. And your most popular dish is curry. Nowadays, even your civil wars are civilized. All it takes is one lousy mutt, and bang goes the Great British Reserve. Small country, isn't it?
Sorry?
When it comes to sex, we all know what you prefer, but you must be doing something right. Because 17 million of us, Johnny Foreigners, would rather fly your airline than any of our own. I guess you should be proud of that. But that wouldn't be very British, would it? Sorry.
When the wheels that drive a vehicle also steer the vehicle, handling can be difficult. That's why, in every BMW, the front wheels steer and the rear wheels drive.
Maybelline introduces curvaceous, flirtatious lashes with new Wonder Curl Mascara.
It's a curlier, flirtier lash.
Now Maybelline brings you a curl so captivating. The Curl Activator brush grabs and curls lashes. The elastic formula irresistibly sets the curl for ultra-curly, longer-looking lashes.
No wonder it leaves you wide-eyed.
New Wonder Curl by Maybelline.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Soon, all mobile and pager numbers will come together to start with the same two numbers, 07, so you'll know if you're calling someone on the move. It's all part of the big number. For more information, call free on 0808 224 2000.
Last season's UEFA Champions League was incredible stuff. So far this season with On Digital has been just as exciting. Manchester United have gone top of their group. Arsenal could have beaten Fiorentina but for this penalty miss from Canu. But the Gunners had the tie of the round at the Nou Camp. First they fell behind and had Rimondi sent off. Then Canu's goal gave them a battling draw and second place in Group B. Chelsea have disappointed somewhat, but a 1-0 win over Galatasaray keeps them very much in the hunt. Rangers too started poorly, but they've found form now. This late strike from super sub Jorg Albertz bringing a fine victory at PSV. So what's to come? More action, more brightly coloured shirts, and more emotion.
The UEFA Champions League. The only way you can see it all is with On Digital. Don't miss a single game. Visit your local electrical retailer and get your free box today.
The best way to drive an object forward is from behind. That's why all BMWs have rear-wheel drive.
José, ¿cuándo y por qué te fuiste de la Argentina?
El momento era un poco con bronca. Nadie me quiere. Fue el gran desafío de decir, bueno, si te crees que podés, anda, mostrá y volvé. Pronti? Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
On the 18th of April, Jose Cura opened the Teatro Colón in the title role of Verdi's Otello. It was his first major part on the stage of Argentina's National Opera House, some 15 years after he'd been rejected there. Otello's opening word in the opera is exultate, rejoice.
I think that today there will be two exultates at the same time. The exultate of Otello, because I'm supposed to sing it because it's written, and the exultate of Jose Cura, who is claiming for his people for the first time.
The heroic tenor is something that slightly went out of fashion about 20 years ago. Really, in a way, only Domingo could do those parts when people like Mario del Monaco stopped, or Franco Corelli. So there is this gap to be filled, and here, thank heavens, he is.
I don't think that Otello is dramatic. I don't think that Otello is heroic. I think that Otello is pathetic. And you think that Otello apparently was a black man in a world of white people who was a mercenary. All the power of this man was only based in his capacity of winning against the danger of the Turkish. Without that danger, he was useless. And there's nothing more dangerous in a society than when you get useless. Otello have the typical syndrome of the veteran of Vietnam or the Gulf War or whatever, when they go to bed in the night and they close their eyes and try to sleep, and they see fire, they see dead bodies everywhere. I mean, this is the typical syndrome of the warrior. And in that duet, one of the most important things of that duet is that we see, for the first time after the Exultate, the weak part of the character. He is like a puppy.
La gloria e il paradiso e gli astri a benedire e Dio fra le tue tempie oscure splendor del genio lettere e tu m'amavi per la mia sventura ed io t'amavo per la tua pietà. Io t'amavo per le tue sventure e tu m'amavi per la mia
We have one of those productions when there's nothing on stage, just stairs. And all of a sudden you're portraying a love duet when you're talking about erotism, about sex, about the feeling of feeling yourself safe when you are in the arms of your lover. And there's not a room, there's not a bed, there's not a curtain, there's not a chair, there's nothing where to create that atmosphere. Two teenagers, if they're in love and they want to make love and they do it in the first place they find. So we're trying to do something on the stairs. I don't know how that would look.
La gioia m'inonda si fieramente
Canzone si scivola. Mi giace. Un bacio.
La prova, non volevamo fermare la prova, ma è un momento, come lei mi ha detto, non mi posso muovere, continua a scivolare, ho detto ascolta, andiamo fino in fondo poi vediamo, ma adesso cerchiamo una soluzione. Il problema è che si scivola Si rebala.
Al finale butti il braccio di là.
Cioè il cul per aria.
E va bene, sai, bisogna saper fare tutto, anche il cul per aria.
No, ma dico, non si vede bene neanche questo.
No, non si vede. Senti una cosa, teniamo il bacio per il finale.
Ma questo di un bacio non la bacio?
Il bacio si dice tante cose, ma non è necessario di farlo.
Ma sto dicendo un altro bacio. Vuol dire che gliel'ho dato già uno.
Beh, ma
ancora il finale. Un bacio, dammi sto bacio, posso dire.
Capito, glielo dai sulla guancia, glielo dai.
Sì, sulla guancia, sull'orecchio,
E l'orecchio, sì. Le baci del petto.
Sì, qua, un bacio.
Ecco, così.
Un bacio.
Ecco.
Un altro bacio.
Ancora.
I mean, maybe we have to change everything. I don't know, this week will be a long week. Today the general rehearsal is closed due to the union problems, and there's a sort of fantasy around the theater that the general rehearsal is closed because I've asked it to close the general rehearsal, which is ridiculous. So if you want to know exactly how I feel, it's a mixture of happiness, but the enormous pressure, which is not only the artistical pressure, which is everywhere the same, but now I have the psychological pressure of being used, if you want, as a sort of icon for reivindication, which is not my role at all. Again, we've lost a lot of time because of some strikes that we were having here and there. So we are trying to recover the time, and everybody's putting his best. That is also the miracle of theater. When people say that Domingo del Monaco, they've done more than 300 performances of Otello, of course, you have to admire the resistance of the voice, because it's enormous. But what I really admire is the patience for the makeup. I mean, this is hell. 300 times the same stuff, this is hell. And to get out from here, you need a shower. Hi, that's cold. Ah!
Gioia m'inonda si fieramente, non so mi tace.
Because in the first act, everything is okay. I love you, you love me, birds and butterflies, and all is okay. Second act, he starts to be poisoned by Iago. But he's never alone with his demon. There's somebody else all the time there. The third act, finally he's alone with her, having her under suspicion.
Sopra il candido ciglio della tua fronte scritto non sei forse una vil cortigiana?
Certo, Iolo! È il battesimo della fede cristiana!
he has this enormous fight inside of him because he loves her enormously, so he doesn't know what to do. And he insults her, saying that you are a hooker. And then she leaves, and she stays alone, and he sings the famous monologue, crying all the time, breaking into pieces, because he couldn't control anymore the emotions. And that is the beginning of the end. From there on, Otello is just up to the end, a sort of enormous descent.
Quel sole, quel sorriso, quell'abbro che mi fa vivo e mi fa lieto. Sveneto è quel sole, quel sorriso, quel raggio che mi fa vivo e mi fa lieto. Clemenza, io genio immortale, tal ermoso riso, ma per tuo viso santo, voglio l'erba infernal. Oh, dannazione! Io confessi il delitto, e possa muoia, confession, la prova, oh, solo la cielo. Oh, già!
When you do opera, the edge between good theater and being ridiculous is very thin. And that famous edge is the most challenging danger of the way I want to address my career.
La spada così.
Quédate, Ricky, quédate.
Niune mi tema, dove van carajo? Fermatomi.
Cosa vuoi?
Devo dare la spada a qualcuno, la spada a me.
Invece la via per te.
Ecco la fine del mio cammino.
My Otello is still in the make. One thing I can say is that the way I am reading Otello now, the way I am trying to develop Otello now, is not Otello the warrior, but Otello the man who used to be a warrior. Otello the man that was a warrior. Otello fu, says himself in the end of the opera.
Otello peut-être fou.
He's young. He's only just starting, Zeg. People think he's mad to be singing Otello when he's in his 30s. Maybe he is, but what's it going to be like in 20 years' time? I think it'll be a complete knockout.
I hate so much that word that is very common in the show business, star. You're a star. I hate that word because stars are normally really far away from the earth. And if you just stay, and most here in Argentina where the sky is so clean, if you just watch the sky, you will see a lot of falling stars. And I don't want to be one of those. I prefer to be here on the earth, do my job as good as I can, with my mistakes and with my good things whenever I do good things, and that's it.
m'ama, se ancor m'ato mi vede. Ecco la fine del mio cammino. Oh, gloria! Otello fu.
I used to say, thanks God, the success came when I was young enough to still justify the investment, but old enough to be able to keep it under control.
The South Bank Show, in association with Anderson Consulting.
It's 48 hours since you last slept, 40-something since you last ate. You're exhausted, you're hungry, no friends. I'm all you've got, Tracy.
You are holding my client in contravention of military and civil law.
At least she's alive, Mantle.
There are some things you can't fight.
I want justice.
What price, Tracy? You're digging in a graveyard.
Just remember, Mantle, no good deed goes unpunished.
The Waiting Time, coming soon to ITV.
Controversy and Michael Schumacher drove hand in hand once again at the Malaysian Grand Prix. The highlights are next.
Dolphins Express group feature lets me call several people all at once. Let's say Terry, Jerry, Sherry, Gary, Harry, Carrie, Barry, Fred, Ted and Ned, and Edna, Ron, Roz, Rob, Rod, Phil, Bill, not forgetting Samantha, of course. All at the touch of a button. Dolphin. It'll make your life a whole lot easier.
Thank you. Could I have some gravy, please?
It doesn't come with gravy, sir.
No gravy?
Madam, do you find this acceptable? Quite. Customers come with clothes, chops come with gravy.
I think I've made my point.
Elbows, Nigel, elbows.
There's a voice keeps on calling me down the road. That's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So if you want...
Only NatWest credit cards give you air miles every time you spend, helping you see the world for free.
That's old style.
I am only one.
I cannot do everything.
But I can do something.
And because I cannot do everything,
I will do the something that I can do.
Every person can make a difference, and every company. At BP, we've made a commitment to the world in which we live and breathe, starting with the introduction of cleaner, greener fuels that substantially reduce emissions. BP, for the journey ahead.
Oh, I'm hungry. Somebody feed me. I feel like I've been here for days. In this blistering heat.
I'll get you something to eat, okay? If you just shut up!
Feed me. You're too late. I've wasted away. I can't feel my legs, Sal.
Well, you won't want these in, will you?
No, Sal. I'll have them. Come on.
Cover yourself up.
Bachelor's superb noodles. I added the B myself.
Look, it wasn't my job to pay it.
Well, it wasn't mine.
Well, it wasn't mine. I paid the milk.
I paid the milk.
And how come no one saw the reminders?
Well, I never saw them. Nor me. That's what you do.
They sent 3! 3! Still, I can't believe we actually got caught, you know.
I can't believe we got fined.
I can't believe I've had to sell the car to pay for it.
Let's go home.
Who forgot to pay the rent?
To celebrate the launch of Disney's Tarzan, The Sun is giving away a fantastic free Disney Bean toy. Offer starts only in tomorrow's Sun.
Join the fun with Old El Paso's new burrito kit. Enjoy the taste of an authentic Mexican meal. New burrito kit from Old El Paso.
Just good friends?
You and me, we got nothing in common.
Or just the job?
Have you ever known such a dreadful mismatch in all your life? The just friends policy.
Want a lift?
No.
So if her mind's on the case...
I was just wondering what you thought.
Did you sleep with him?
Where's his?
Did you want to?
Sam Janis in the Big City Beat. Liverpool 1, Monday at 9, ITV.
This is LWT with the crucial laps from today's Malaysian Grand Prix.
The magnificent new Sepang circuit on the outskirts of Kuala Lumpur. Formula One's first step into Malaysia, and it's also the penultimate round of the 1999 World Championship. Good evening. Welcome to our review of the first Malaysian Grand Prix, a race that will stick in the memory for all sorts of reasons. We've seen the return of Michael Schumacher, some great Ferrari teamwork, then a twist in the tale. The full story coming up. First, though, let's cast our minds back to qualifying, where Michael Schumacher blew the rest away. The all-new Sepang track is a hit with the drivers. 15 corners offering a challenging combination